Almost everybody can agree that Falco lasers are pretty broken, or at least extremely good. But when you start getting into the topic of why, or ask your average Falco player to explain which particular laser pattern they are using in each situation, suddenly the responses are all over the place. And the answer to the question, why are lasers so dominant, starts to become very murky. This type of blurry truth is something we've grown very accustomed to in Melee, due to the ridiculous complexity of the game, and the difficulty to isolate situations and analyze them without suddenly finding yourself going down several rabbit holes at once. Starting with one aspect of Falco's lasers, this series will attempt to break down several of the game's useful and interesting patterns into applicable chunks that can be easily digested and implemented. If you've ever played Falco vs. Fox from the Falco side, or really just played the game in general, you've probably noticed that Fox is fast, like not okay levels of fast. Thankfully, lasers are supposed to slow fast characters down to a speed that Falco can actually deal with, but often it's tricky to tell whether it's safe to even fire a laser, and it's easy to become trigger shy and end up fighting Fox with just your normal moves, which usually doesn't end well. So we're going to go over a special range in which a quick double laser in place is basically guaranteed to be a solid choice. It can allow you to protect yourself while potentially getting free damage or setting up an advantageous position. Before we really get started, I'd like to give some small notes and a quick explanation of how lasers stun the opponent in various situations. First of all, there's a difference between hit lag and hit stun. Hit lag is a state in which a character is frozen but can smash DI, and hit stun is when a character is in their actual stun animation, which is usually accompanied by knockback. While caught in either of these states, the opponent cannot shield or begin any other action. For the purposes of this video, I will be adding the hit lag and hit stun that a laser delivers to the opponent together into a single number that I will simply call laser stun. Second, in Melee there is something called stale moves. This basically means that if the move you are using is one of the last 9 moves you've used to hit your opponent on your current stock, it is considered stale to some degree, and will have potentially reduced damage, hit lag, or hit stun. Thankfully, with lasers the effects of staleness are not only simple to remember, but generally irrelevant anyway. I will still quickly mention the data for unstale lasers, but because so many lasers are fired each stock, we can mostly assume that any laser we are dealing with is stale. And so the stale numbers are essentially the only data you need to remember. Lastly, there is also a mechanic in Melee called crouch cancelling. To avoid going into too much detail, the basic idea is that when you are crouching, you will take reduced hit lag and hit stun from attacks. Okay, so an unstale laser which connects to the opponent does 4 frames of hit lag, and 8 frames of hit stun, meaning it does 12 total frames of laser stun. Any amount of staleness removes only a single hit lag frame, meaning 3 frames of hit lag and 8 frames of hit stun, which is 11 total frames of laser stun. A laser that hits an opponent who is crouch cancelling will always do 2 frames of hit lag and 5 frames of hit stun, meaning 7 frames of laser stun, regardless of staleness. An unstaled laser that hits your opponent's shield will do 4 frames of hit lag and 3 frames of shield stun, meaning 7 frames of laser stun. Interestingly, any amount of staleness causes the laser to do 3 frames of hit lag and 2 frames of shield stun, meaning 5 frames of laser stun. If a laser hits an opponent's power shield, it will do 0 frames of hit lag or stun. An important note is that a power shielded laser coming back to hit Falco will do less damage, but will have the exact same laser stun numbers. In review, here's what you need to remember. Laser stun on hit, 11 frames. Laser stun hitting crouch cancel, 7 frames. Laser stun on shield, 5 frames. And laser stun on power shield, 0 frames. Now that we've gotten this vital frame data out of the way, we have to talk about Fox's strongest counter to laser as a whole, running power shield. Fox's initial dash animation is 11 frames long. If he continues to hold forward, run begins on frame 12, which means running power shield is possible on frame 13. If Fox shields out of his dash, he will stop in place, but if he shields out of his run, he slides a ridiculous distance. If you combine this with Power Shield, Fox gains the ability to both Power Shield and approach at the same time, which is extremely dangerous for Falco. If Fox manages to running Powershield a laser from any decently close range, he can easily combo the laser into grab, up smash, drill, or nair. Because this option gives Fox a completely winning position, Falco must put effort into avoiding doing lasers in positions where Fox can potentially hit a running Powershield punish. Now we finally arrived to the point in the video you've all been waiting for, the unbeatable lasers! There is a particular spacing that Falco can use, where if he manages to get his first laser out successfully, without it getting running Powershielded, it is essentially guaranteed that a second laser will get him a position that is either neutral or advantageous. The range is not extremely precise, but looks something like this. Here, Falco connects his first laser, and immediately does another short hop laser in place. Fox very much struggles in this position to find a real answer. Even if he's frame perfect, Fox cannot reach Falco by dashing in after the first laser. Whether it's a jump shine, jump cancel up smash, short hop aerial, or full hop aerial, none of them can reach Falco in time. Either Fox will be hit by the second laser, or he'll be too late to hit Falco before he's able to shield or perform another action. Shielding the first laser and wave dashing towards Falco also gets Fox hit by the second laser. This brings us to the Powershield options, by far the most complex and interesting of the bunch. Without them, Fox would have an incredibly difficult time interacting with Falco on the ground at all. However, what at first appears to be an easy solution to the lasers turns out to be anything but. While the full complexity of Powershields is outside the scope of this video, you basically just need to know that they are very inconsistent whenever lasers are involved, at least for Fox, and attempting them can bring different results based on a variety of factors, including laser height, Fox's current animation frame, and extremely small differences in horizontal spacing. In short, Powershield in a given position can be anything from impossible to a simple 2-frame window, and it's not feasible for a human player to be able to predict with certainty whether a Powershield will be possible or not on any given attempt. Despite this uncertainty, Powershield is still usually Fox's strongest option. Let's see how the various possibilities play out. Dashing out of the first laser stun and Powershielding the second laser puts Fox in an awkward position. First, Falco does not need to get hit by the Powershielded laser and has time to shield. Additionally, because Fox is stuck shielding, he is unable to jump with momentum, and therefore none of his aerials can hit Falco. If Falco does not shield the laser, and if Fox is frame perfect, he can sometimes wave dash in and potentially have a very small window to punish. However, due to the aforementioned inconsistency of Powershielding, it's probably not wise to assume the success of the Powershield and the 0 frames of laser stun that come with it. It's usually better in situations like this to assume a normal shield with 5 frames of laser stun and interpret the reflected laser as an extra bonus. But in this case, waiting the extra 5 frames to move out of shield makes Fox too slow to reach Falco in time to punish, even in his best case. This makes take laser into dash Powershield a very risky option for Fox that does not have good expected value in the long term. Walking towards Falco after the first laser stun and Powershielding the second laser is similar to the dash Powershield and has similar issues with some minor differences. Because walking shield carries momentum, it can potentially be a bit of a better option if you manage to get close enough and decide to try an aerial. However, it covers less distance between the laser hits than the dash forward, so Fox would need to take the first laser from closer for this momentum to be relevant. Another idea is to walk or dash Powershield the first laser, but the large majority of the time, Falco will simply jump over the reflected laser while shooting the second, putting Fox in a worse position. At certain spacings, it's possible for the Powershielded laser to hit Falco while he jumps up for his second laser. In this case, if the Falco isn't ready, the Fox can wave dash in and get a possible opening, but if the Falco is prepared, they will be able to act out of the laser before Fox can arrive. The Nair here is a bit of an uncommon example, but shows how even the best case scenario for Fox does not reliably produce a good position for him. At this range, crouch canceling the first laser and attempting to jump shine, jump cancel up smash, short hop aerial, or full hop aerial has generally the same results as dashing out of laser stun without the crouch cancel. There are small exceptions, such as a frame perfect dash JC up smash barely working at the very edge of the safe range, or short hop nair in certain cases going over the second laser, which is unreliable and not something Fox should attempt. Okay, so none of these options work. Well then what is Fox even supposed to do? This begs the question, what about running Powershield? We just talked about how strong it is. So let's take a look at the numbers. If Fox does nothing after the first laser, the second laser will hit him on his 16th actionable frame following the laser stun. If he dashes in after taking the first laser, he gains some ground, but the second laser hits faster because of this on his 12th actionable frame. This is critical, because if Fox manages to get to his 13th actionable frame, he can potentially running Powershield. So while running Powershield is not possible from dashing in out of normal laser stun, if Fox were to crouch cancel, therefore giving him only 7 laser stun frames as opposed to 11, the second laser won't hit him until his 14th actionable frame, which gives him a 2-frame window in which he can potentially running Powershield the second laser. This means that out of every single option that Fox has, the only one that actually soundly defeats this double short hop laser is to crouch cancel the first laser and running Powershield punish the second laser. Luckily for Falco, the majority of the time Fox is not going to be in a state where he can quickly crouch. He can't crouch out of his dash stance the majority of the time, which is his primary movement option. For quick moving crouches, his best option is usually to wave dash back into crouch. This, however, is reactable, and Falco can respond by shooting a single laser and then threatening to dare Fox as he runs in, or alternatively jump waveland to a platform or full hop away. The grand majority of the time, whether you are hitting Fox with a laser out of his landing lag, his dash dance, or a whiff move, the threat of him crouch canceling the laser is non-existent. This means that almost every time you are able to secure a laser hit at the correct range, that a second laser is nearly completely guaranteed to either maintain or improve your current position as Falco. Not every double laser will get you a clean opening, but at the very least, it will give you 3 to 5 damage very consistently, and considering that a Fox at very low percents is extra dangerous, Falco being able to either stalemate or secure a good position in neutral, while simultaneously getting free damage every single time, is unquestionably extremely powerful. This of course doesn't solve the matchup on its own, but I think it's an excellent starting point, and reduces the myriad of dangers in the matchup down to a more manageable amount. I hope that any Falco players who watch this video are now confident in the power of their lasers to control the stage, even against a character as fast and as slippery as Fox. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.